I think we're recording, Niche. So you have to be really serious now.
Okay,
I'm kidding.
understood.
You don't have to be serious. But I should probably do the introduction so that people know what they're watching and what they're listening to. So,
Sure.
welcome to OutRight TV. This is a series launched by OutRight Action International, bringing stories from LGBTIQ people and allies around the world as we face this pandemic together. I'm Dinah. I'm OutRight's Senior Communications Manager, and today I'm talking to my colleague Nish, who is from Jamaica but currently stuck in New Jersey. We can talk about that a little bit. Welcome, Nish.
Thanks, Diana. Thanks for having me. Nice and cozy in New Jersey.
Oh
That
yeah.
rhymes.
So, as by means of introduction to Nish, I would say that Nish is a badass, pioneering trans activist. Nish has the most incredible smile, which you can't see yet, but I'm sure it will appear throughout the course of this conversation. And a wonderful, wonderful colleague to work with. But how would you, I'm curious how you would describe yourself, Nish.
Well, you're pretty good at, using very lovely words, Diana. So thanks for that. For me, I describe myself as a fitness enthusiast first
Oh,
and
right, of
foremost.
course. How could I forget
Yes.
that?
And typically just very generous, very giving, very supportive, loving of my community, my friends, my family, and very much dedicated to my work. So those are some of the words that I would use. I wouldn't use workaholic. That's it has some negative connotation. So I prefer the word dedicated.
That's a good word choice. As a comms person, I appreciate that. So,
Yeah.
Nish, you've had quite the adventure in the last week, right? You were in one part of the world, and then you were trying to get to another part of the world. I picture this as like this action movie of like you racing against time from plane to plane with borders shutting like floodgates. So, where were you? Where were you going? Where are you now? What happened?
Well, actually, the way I describe it too, it's a cross between, I don't know if our viewers, if they're going to know these series, but Survivor and Amazing Race are two of my favorite shows to watch. And so I found it was like the Corona edition of a cross between Survivor and Amazing Race. True, that's what it felt like. I was on vacation, before the pandemic reached to the heights that it got to in our side of the world. So I was having my lovely 35th birthday celebration with my wife in South Africa, and we were due to travel back on I don't remember the day of the week, last week, Friday. Our flights were booked and everything was quite fine. We went to the airport and we realized our flights were canceled. So we had to join a long line of other people who were trying to hustle to get back home. And we were rebooked on another airline, another transit through Dubai. Got to check in later in the night because our flights were early in the morning. And so when we got to the check-in counter that night and spent the entire day in the airport, we found out that we couldn't travel through Dubai anymore because the airline wasn't through Dubai for some reason that we just did not know what it was. So we got rebooked for the next day on another set of flights, and this time through Doha. So we went to bed hoping that everything would work out. When I woke up, I heard that the Jamaican borders were closed. I was like, what? I was like, wow. So I guess this means that I'll just be staying in New Jersey with my wife. Thankfully, she lives in the US. And I have a trusty US visa, so I can at least stay here for a little while. So when we were mid-flight, on the last leg of the flight to Doha, we heard that the Jamaican borders were reopened for a very short time. But by this time, my flight from New York to Kingston was canceled by the airline because, again, they were told that the borders were closed. So I had a very difficult time getting there were no flights available whatsoever. I checked, it made no sense to even call the airline because nobody was picking up the phones. The lines were just automated at this time. So yeah, so it was a race against time. It was quite the adventure. The vacation itself was an adventure, and that theme carried all the way through to the very last hour of us arriving at JFK and then having to take a lift all the way because we were also trying to ensure that we don't, interact with too many people in order to get back to New Jersey. And now we are in self-quarantine for at least 14 days, given that we've passed through so many airports.
Right. Yeah.
And thankfully, we were able to order some food online, so we haven't been interacting with anybody since we've got back. Coming soon to Netflix.
Hashtag race against time, or hashtag niche's adventures.
Yes.
Pick whichever one works. So what's happening in Jamaica right now? How is Jamaica responding to the growing pandemic?
I think Jamaica's responding better than the USA, that's for sure. Our Prime Minister is, I'm not going to call any names, but I would like to say that our Prime Minister is having a much better response than the way that the leadership of the US is responding. We have 26 cases as of this morning. My father gives me all the updates and reliable updates. There are people, particularly because I'm not at home, I get a lot of messages from a lot of different people, and it can be overwhelming. So I try to, follow up on the Prime Minister's Instagram page because he's very good at updating information and keeping it very nice and easy to read and easy to understand. But my father as well does a great job of sending me voice notes via WhatsApp. I haven't gotten this many voice notes from my father in all the years of my life. So that's all interesting. But I think people are trying to stay home. They are really trying. And in fact, one of the leading hospitality pioneers in Jamaica, a leader, Butch Stewart, owns a chain of hotels across the world, and he has donated or dedicated one of his hotels to treat patients or persons who are infected with corona. So that's like a really good thing. So we don't have that much of some kind of relief from our hospitals to treat patients and have some, separation to isolate them. So I think Jamaica is trying their best. Of course, it's affecting people who, particularly LGBTQ people, who have to stay because, they're like confined now. And some people, of course, a lot of persons don't have employment, don't have income. So it's very challenging times all across the world. It's not very unique to Jamaica, but I'm Jamaican, so I'm very much concerned about my friends and colleagues there.
Yeah, of course. And you're also in your role, you're also used to being out and about and interacting with activists and community members all the time. And now you can't do that. Do you want to say something a little bit about what your work normally looks like and how you, Niche, the person, how you are coping with being stuck inside and having to adjust how you do your work for the community in this very weird time that we're currently living in?
Very strange times, Diana. For me, so I do work from home typically. I'm based in Jamaica, in charge of OutRight's Caribbean program. And I really do interact quite a bit with my colleagues around the region. So more so at a regional level than at a national level for OutRight. So working from home. So this is not necessarily new to me in terms of working from home, but the context is different. I'm inside, but I'm not in my own apartment, right? But that's minor. I'm with my love partner, so a nice change as well, because we've been kind of having a bit of a long distance relationship for some time now. But I was set to go to Haiti to do a training regarding security, as there are some serious needs in Haiti at the moment. So the impact on our communities are immediate because of the inability to travel and to support them. Likewise, I'm in charge of a GBV project with several partners across the region, and as well, we're supposed to go to Antigua for training, and our partners include people from Antigua. Our partners are in Antigua, Trinidad and Tobago, Haiti, and Antigua. And we were not able to have that training clear for obvious reasons. And so it impacts program has programmatic implications as we're trying to gather information and share best practices and learn from each other. So we have to try to find creative ways to do this, which is I'm in the process of brainstorming how to ensure that the people who we have been supporting through our projects aren't affected as significantly during this time. So we know that there are going to be, negative repercussions because of this, but we're doing our best to ensure that our work continues. And I think OutRight has been doing a super good job of hitting the ground running and thinking ahead and just trying to find creative ways to continue to support communities. And it speaks as well to the resilience of LGBTQ people around the world. I've been just really heartened by how queer people have been responding to this. And it just goes to show that we have already taken a human rights approach to anything that we do, and this is just another way in which we're doing that.
Can you say something about maybe, so you said it speaks to the resilience of LGBTIQ people. I think there's also a lot of creativity happening just in general at this time, and how people are coping and being sort of stuck at home and not being able to go out and do things. Is there something that has stood out to you specifically from the queer community that people have done to support each other or to connect with each other at a time when it's difficult to do that?
Yeah, I actually want to give a huge shout out to one entity in Jamaica called Rebel Women's Lit. They have been doing a series of Instagram lives with artists, queer artists. That includes, some of the artists are queer, some are not, but allies as well. And they've been doing poetry readings. And I think it's a huge initiative. I've seen so many people doing like fitness classes for free, like, Instagram lives, just like little things like that to keep the connection with people going. I think it's pretty amazing because we need each other more now than ever, and we're not able to do so in a physical way. But it doesn't mean that people don't need a connection. Like on a personal level, I've had one wine Wednesday with a close friend of mine just a couple of days ago, and we were just like, acting as if we were sitting right across from each other. And it's so important to be able to keep that connection with people. Another personal level, I mean, I'm pretty sure I'm actually thinking, I think I have amazing colleagues at OutRight as well, because there's a push-up challenge going around right now on Instagram, and a few people tagged me, and instead of me like tagging other people to say, hey, do the challenge, I've been asking people to tag me, because I'm not trying to torture anybody. Not everybody likes push-ups, right? So I'm not
But you do.
Oh, yeah, but I love push-ups. So if anybody wants to tag me in their push-up challenge, please go right ahead so I can do as many push-ups. I'd love to challenge myself to do 200 to 500 push-ups a day, if that's the case, right? By the way,
and you've been sharing pictures of this in our staff chat to pretty hilarious reactions from our colleagues. So some colleagues have embraced it, like me. I also did some push-ups, not 200. I did like 20 maybe, with my dog Byron, who you can see in the background. He was looking at me like, what the hell are you doing, you weirdo? But then other colleagues decided to rebel against your, they called it the burn-off challenge. And they were like, let's do a bake-off challenge instead, just to make sure that this health freak and these fitness enthusiasts don't take over OutRight. We're going to start baking and eating cakes, which I thought is hilarious. So now there's this this bake-off stream and the burn-off stream.
I love it. And I think that's another series that we can roll out with, bake off versus burn it off.
I love it. I'm going to do both.
I'm going to stick to burn it off, but I love to get a shipment of those bake off, because you're going to have surplus, right? If so many OutRight staff are doing baking, like, need people to eat the cake. And
precisely.
I eat cake.
And you're not very far right now, so we can get it delivered to you somehow.
I appreciate that. Yeah, so things that are just really cool. I know I'm being challenged to do more challenging types of push-ups. So now I'm at a clap inverted push-up now. So I don't know. I think that's challenging enough. So I think I'm just going to keep it there.
Can I challenge you to the one-handed ones?
Sure, you can challenge me to anything, Dana. I'll try it. I'll for sure try it. So let's see how it goes.
I look forward to seeing the results on Instagram and in our work chat.
Definitely.
Well, Nish, I love the positivity that you bring to this conversation. I think it's so incredibly necessary in these times. I can say that as a person who overthinks things and reads too many news, my anxiety levels have been a little bit higher than I would like them to be. But these connections that we have as colleagues, as friends, and these like you said, wine with your friend over FaceTime. Like I've been doing things like that as well, and it really helps. And so I've really enjoyed our chat this morning. This is the best way to start Friday. It is a Friday right now. It won't be when people are listening to this, but it is right now for us. So, you know, it's Friday. So thank you for this incredible dose of positivity for the last working day of this week.
Thank you, Diana. It's been a pleasure. Thanks for inviting me, and it's been great. It's a great way to start the day. You're definitely right. I love this, and I'm looking forward to seeing what else you come up with and who else you interview and who else our colleagues interview. And, I think this is what we need right now. So
have you decided who you're going to interview? That's the question.
Yeah, I have an interview later today. So
amazing.
I'm not going to say who it is. So people have
keep
to
it a surprise.
Exactly.
I love it. Well, thank you, Nish. And thank you, everyone who's tuned in to OutRight TV. I'm Dinah, and I was talking to my colleague Nish, and this is OutRight's new series, bringing you stories of LGBTIQ people and allies from across the world as we face this very strange time together. So thanks, Nish. Have a great rest of the day.
Thanks,
and
Dinah.
everyone else, tune in again. There will be more stories coming your way.